Welcome back to Boys and Ghouls Film Review, folks. I'm your host, Sarah Stephenson, and this is my co-host, Mike Stephenson.
Hi, guys.
And tonight we'll be reviewing our long-awaited TV series that we've been looking forward to since the day its announcement back in 2021. This is the TV series that you've been hearing me talk non-stop about, called Wednesday, the TV series that's an adaptation of The Addams Family.
Yeah, it's not bad, actually. Now, I normally talk about reception and stuff towards the end, but I'm going to just touch on it briefly.
Okay, go for it.
Now, a lot of the critics liked it, don't get me wrong. But one of the critics made a comment, I believe, maybe a couple of people in the internet as well, said, "Oh, it's nothing like the original TV show or the original movies."
Uh-huh.
Of course not, because the originals were about the Addams family. This is about Wednesday Addams going to school and a coming of age type movie, which means it's going to be totally different. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
If you do the same old, it'll get boring.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And this is probably one of many movie or TV series adaptations that has been released in November, where the original Addams Family movies have been released in November too. Yeah. I've noticed. I found out from not too recently, since this one got released, I found out that the previous other Addams Family movies, like Addams Family Values, Addams Family, the 1991, they were both released in November. I thought that this was just a coincidence or something.
Well, it's a good time because people, I think in America, their kids are off now for winter holidays and kids they go to the theatre and whatever and blah, blah, blah and fill their time up, when they're not at school. So,
so
whatever.
Anyway, I like this one because I like it because I like the fact that it's a coming of age for Wednesday a little bit.
It is. It is a coming of age movie type thing.
Yeah,
she's growing up instead of being a little kiddie with mummy and daddy. She's been pushed out of lots of other schools, expelled, and she ends up in her mother and father's old school.
Although throughout the series, she tries to push down any emotions of any chances of being human down as much as she can, even though her actions speak louder than her words.
She seems to be softening just a little bit. I mean, she's still her deadpan face and attitude and very gothic and stuff, and all the way through it she's going, I don't need people, I want to be distanced
I want to be a lone wolf,
I want to be alone, blah, 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 blah. But by the end of the series, she's starting to soften a little bit towards at least one or two people in the...
she doesn't show too much emotion.
No.
You can tell from
she hides it well.
Her acting. I do wonder to myself when Janae Ortega took on this role, was it difficult for her when she started doing this sort of thing? Because it would be hard to try to present a role with only your eyes to tell the story.
Well, not his deadpan face. That was hard not to show the emotions. Now,
exactly.
Jenna Ortega,
her eyes tell a different story throughout the
Jenna Ortega has done a marvellous job in bringing this part to life.
Mm-hmm. And it's a step forward in her career when you think about it.
But she's already been doing things. But I'm going to say this as well. When as Christina Ricci was brought in at a last moment because somebody else dropped out, Jenna Ortega made a point of not talking too much to Christina Ricci so she wouldn't get any advice from Christina Ricci on how she played her role.
Yeah, she wanted to be her own...
She wanted to be her own person, developing her own personality.
Exactly. I mean,
which is good.
It is good to ask for advice, but you don't want it to be to the same of that she did back in the 1991. She wanted her
interpretation to come across, and I think it's really good. She's creepy, kooky, and absolutely spooky, and whatever.
And apart from her eyes and her acting talent, I often think her costuming was much to be desired. I mean, sometimes she wore the plain black ordinary dress, but other times she wore other stuff, which, unlike the TV series and the movies, which she didn't have a very extended wardrobe.
She had the same clothes on all the time from memory.
In this one, she's wearing more different types of clothing, which makes me think this is costumes that are designed by Tim Burton in his own imagination.
But they were black and white sort of stuff, and even her school uniform was darker than everybody else's.
Yeah. Anyway,
yeah, so things like that.
Another thing about this movie is that you could smell or feel the Tim Burton style about it, from the decor, the costuming.
Tim has a good feel. I like him. Yeah.
And to the end of the story, you feel that the monster was created by him, because he has a unique style of creating monsters, and unlike other people who just follow the same routines, famous looks to monsters, they use anything like from real animals they may see in real life, like from in the wildlife, to things you may have read in fairy tales and books like that. Where is Tim Burton? He creates his own monsters from his own head.
Yeah, like Stephen King does.
Yeah, so that's the thing about Tim Burton. He knows how to create his own stories.
He's a
and his
smart
own
man,
monsters.
very talented. Now, let's move on a little bit. Okay.
Yes.
I won't go through too much of it. There's obviously Tim Burton was the director. He's also executive producer, well, one of them. I won't go through the whole slew of people involved in it, but I'll get into the cast now. Jenna Ortega obviously plays the lead role, Wednesday Addams. Basic premise here is he's been expelled from all these other schools. This is probably getting towards the last chance going back to Mum and Dad's old school. Now, here we go. Gwendolyn Christie plays Larissa Weems, the principal of Nevermore Academy and a former student who was a roommate with Morticia a long time ago. We get the feeling that they didn't have a great relationship at times.
Yeah, but Morticia glosses over that fact a lot most of the time in these movies and TV adaptations.
I'm going through a lot more people here.
I know.
Ricky Lindholm plays Dr. Valerie Kinbot. She's a therapist that talks to kids. See, that's an interesting role too. Right. Jamie McShane plays a sheriff in the local town called Jericho, and he doesn't like the school being there, but the school being there helps support the town, so it's a bit of a love-hate relationship going on here. Now, Hunter Doohan plays his son, Tyler.
He's a bit of a love interest to Wednesday.
He's a love interest, but all isn't what it seems, as will come out in Sarah's tale of woe later on. Whoa.
Just so you guys know, they do mention the fact where Wednesday got her name originally. Like, it was mentioned in the other animation, the Addams Family episode movie 2, and it's mentioned in this one. So, and it's also mentioned in Charles Addams where he got the name for Wednesday in his story.
He wrote the story on Wednesday? No. There was Wednesday's Child was a poem or something or other.
Yeah, something like that.
Anyway, here we go. Last couple I'll do. Percy Haynes White plays Xavier Thorpe, who's a student of the Academy as well, and a sort of another potential love interest for old Wednesday. Now, here's my cutie pie. Emma Myers plays Enid Sinclair, Wednesday's roommate. Who is
probably her best friend.
Trying to become Wednesday's friend would be better. And Wednesday softens by the end of it. But this little girl is a blooming werewolf who doesn't want to be a werewolf necessarily. She wants to be her own person. But things do develop later on.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, I'll skip down one or two here. They're the main ones. Now, who else got here? Blah, blah. Nah, get rid of those. Blah, okay.
How about Xavier? What's his name?
I just said Xavier.
Xavier. Sorry.
Okay. Victor Dorobantu plays Thing.
Ooh.
Now, you said that's easy. It's just a hand. But you got to remember, the guy's got to be standing around in a blue suit, covered head to foot, trying to be invisible and playing a hand. He did a good job.
And positioning his hand in a certain way so it won't...
and it makes it look real. So
to make it look more real.
And there was one other person I thought I was going to... Uncle Fester. Here it is. Yeah, now the list here. Now, Fred Armisen, I think is the right pronunciation, plays Uncle Fester. You know what? I think he nailed it.
I think he nailed it too. Unlike Lewis, who plays Gomez.
Gomez. Look, Lewis Guzman plays a reasonably good Gomez.
He plays a reasonably good Gomez, but I don't know. Maybe
and Catherine Zeta-Jones plays a good Morticia.
Catherine Zeta-Jones, she'd knock her for being Morticia. She's beautiful. For years,
and she's elegant and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, she pulls it off for me, considering she's at the right age to pretending to be a parent.
She's got the look. How's that? You got the look?
Yeah, she has that look. The dark, mysterious,
and sexy
and
elegant.
I always thought she was sexy.
All the good things. Yeah, yeah.
Not as sexy as
Carolyn Jones. What?
No, not Carolyn Jones.
I
was thinking of Elvira.
Oh, why are we talking about Elvira again?
Because
we're talking about Morticias here.
I know, but I often thought Cassandra.
Cassandra, yeah.
Pearson is always so beautiful.
Yeah, she's our girl. Yeah, okay. But the point still remains.
Yeah.
I was talking about.
I know.
The previous Morticias, I think Carolyn Jones got it really good.
Same I could say for Jenny Ortega for when she's playing Wednesday.
Actually, it's Jenna Ortega. You keep saying Jenny.
Oh, yeah, Jenna.
Remember our dog we had years ago? Jenna? Okay.
Jenny Ortega.
Jenna. Yeah, Jenna, not Jenny. Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, Jenna is an awesome take on Wednesday Addams when I think about it.
Exceptionally. And actually, it's quite funny. She's about 20 years old, but she's playing a 16-year-old.
Well.
And she did the 16-year-old part quite well. Yes.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, a lot of actors...
a lot of people do play,
in their 20s. If they could pull it off, pretend to be still a young teenager, they could still do it.
Yeah, but she played it quite well. That's what I'm saying. She's older, but she played it quite well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why...
was great.
That's why a lot of actors who, no matter what age bracket you are, like 16 to 22, can still pull off playing a teenager.
If they've got looks, yeah.
And like years ago... You may have heard it that 30s would often be playing teenagers too. When you think about it.
Well, yeah. Look, got a mental block today. Johnny Depp. Now he was in a TV program. I think it was 21 Jump Street or something years ago.
Maybe I'm not
sure. I think he was an adult playing a teenager in that one. And the guy out of Back to the Future, who's it?
Michael J. Fox.
Michael J. Fox, yeah. Now, he was also on a TV show. He was an adult playing a kid. And he's also turned those movies out, Back to the Future. He was playing a kid in that and is actually an adult. So, so it works in some cases.
In some cases, out of 10, you get the right age brackets. Yeah, it works. And, of course, almost all of the actors from Saved by the Bell and other TV shows like that, they would always cast 30-something-year-olds.
Okay, let's move on. Why don't you tell the story?
Okay, people. So, Wednesday, she's in her latest school. It's bright and colourful, and one day she finds out her brother is stuffed in a locker being bullied by the swim team, no less. And she takes her revenge on them by throwing some piranhas into the pool with them. And instead of swimming merrily with them, they swim team run in panic, and one of them gets their genitals bitten off by it.
Oh, a little bit of a nibble. Come on. Be a sook.
Oh, man, it's hilarious. And now Wednesday is expelled by said school, which doesn't matter.
No sense of humour, hey.
And so instead of facing juvie or jail time, the judge has made her decide to take psychiatry stuff and attend a new school called Nevermore Academy for freaks. I mean, not freaks.
Creepy kids.
Creepy kids, which is a school where Morticia and Gomez went to when they were kids. And they think...
my old school. No, sorry.
Anyway, they think this will be a great way for her to sort herself out, I think. I think that she'll probably eventually be able to find friends that will help her and stuff like that. Of course, Wednesday doesn't think so. She doesn't want to mold herself in her parents' image of what their vision of her life should be. Exactly. Even though they want everything that's good for her, obviously, like any developed parent in this universe probably want. When you say, Mike?
Well, every parent wants the best for their kiddies.
Yeah, but Wednesday sees
or
through
want to
this.
bury them. In your case.
Anyway, she meets the headmistress, and who promises her that she'll have a great time at this place and make friends and stuff like that. Soon enough, we're introduced to her roommate, who's bright and bubbly and everything that is Wednesday.
The opposite, almost. You reckon?
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah, you never imagined that the kids in the school would be the bright and bubbly type, but as it turns out, they are, even though they're weird and indifferent from everyone.
I love bits of school.
Yeah, there are the
going home in the afternoon held great fascination for me.
Will you shut up?
Shut up.
Anyway, Wednesday is given the tour around the school. She's shown there's werewolf areas, werewolf cliques. There's vampire cliques. There is let me see, some interesting other cliques.
And sirens?
Sirens. And let me see, Gorgon cliques.
Gorgons, yeah. Gorgons,
where there's a boy named Ajax.
Ajax, yeah.
Yeah, named after the bathroom, whatever. And he's a female Gorgon.
Yeah, males. Yeah, you always think about the Gorgon sisters.
It's always the Gorgon.
But you never hear about boy Gorgons. Snake hair.
Medusa types, Gorgon. But now you have a male Gorgon instead.
Yeah.
And they call them stoners, which makes me think of
makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Smoke.
Yeah, the dope heads, whatever.
Yeah, they use terminology like the kids would use at schools these days.
Well, they're all stoners. They really get stoned. Yeah.
I think there is witches and warlocks in here, but we don't see them too much in this production. We see the ones
it's mainly the other ones. Yeah, the shapeshifters and stuff. And,
there's even a merman, I think it was in the
it was a merman.
That comes much later in the story. Anyway, Wednesday is less than thrilled being part of this thing because she sees them just as bright and bubbly as the kids at her old school.
Which she didn't like anyway.
And she feels like that she does not want to be here, so she plans on escaping. So she makes a plan she actually finds out the thing that's spying on her by her parents is there with her, as it turns out. And but she tells Thing that you're going to work for me from now on and all that stuff.
And Thing doesn't like Wednesday. She's such a likeable child.
Yeah. Little do we know, in the background, we find out there's a creature prowling the forests of
in the nearby
Nevermore Academy. We don't know not much about it, except for a fact it's prowling and killing normal people. Anyway,
townsfolk, other people, the odd school student.
Well, not really the odd school student.
They tried to kill some students
later on. Anyway, so back to the story. Anyway, so Wednesday makes a point of escaping by using her therapy session as cover. So she goes to the therapy session, but she doesn't open up, and she sacks into the toilet. There she makes her daring escape, and there she meets Tyler, the sheriff's son, who's
he's a really nice guy.
A really nice guy we think. And she tries to get him to help her get away. But, of course, he doesn't get off work until his shift is ended.
A bit later, yeah.
And there she makes
work always gets away.
And she makes the acquaintance of some local kids who one of them is the son of the local mayor, who's used to be the ex-sheriff in the town too. And
he was promoted up to mayor,
Yeah. She beats them up. She uses her martial arts skills. I should mention, in the TV series, it was mentioned that she learnt martial arts, along with sword fighting from her dad, I think.
If getting ready for this TV show, she had to learn a lot, canoeing, sword fighting,
I know.
Other things, so she went into it.
Yeah, true. It's just that's what was in the original stories too. Sword fighting, I imagine she probably learnt that from her dad a little bit here and there, and that's implied and mentions a lot in these movies in the series.
When she was a child, her fifth birthday, she had a sword.
Anyway, so eventually the headmistress finds her and takes her back, realizing that she's just tried to attempt to escape again. So she makes a point of trying to escape again later on. But then she finds out about this monster prowling the school, and one of the kids mistakes her for a bad person who's going to destroy the school itself. But we don't get the full story of it.
Of course, we find it later. It's been misinterpreted.
Yeah. Somehow that very student, his mother, I guess, used foretold events and draw them down, but didn't bother explaining to anyone what those events entailed.
Yes.
So anyway, Wednesday goes on her investigation, which is weird because usually in the past, Wednesday is the culprit, not the person to stop the type of things like this happening. Wouldn't you say, Mike?
Exactly.
So she's changed her role around in this scene, and all that stuff. So she makes an attempt to try to find this monster. She meets a few dead ends along the way, and some missing pieces along the way. And eventually, along the way, she starts making a little bit of friends, or at least colleagues in the academy.
She's getting a peer group of sorts. How's that?
Yeah, she starts making friends with the local bee nerd or beekeeper nerd.
Well, he's a student he can actually control the bees as well. That's his sort of thing.
That's the thing about this Nevermore Academy. They don't really explain what kind of magic powers they have or anything like that.
It just comes out occasionally.
It just comes out in conversation.
But then since she made friends with that Siren Girl eventually.
Yeah, she does. And eventually she finds out that, let me see, a lot of other stuff. And she gets close to Tyler, and she also makes friends with another boy who's what's his name again? Xavier. A good-looking, not so bad boy at school. And who has a crush on her since when they were kids. They were friends. I guess they were friends, and his grandma and her grandma were good friends. And at the funeral, she saved his life.
Nice.
But she doesn't see it that way. She just says, "Oh, I was just there at the time. I just turned it off." Stuff like that.
Yeah,
I won't go into details, but. Other than that, Xavier has a soft spot for Wednesday, even though Wednesday doesn't return the feelings. She describes feelings in this TV series as a bit of a weakness. She doesn't show these feelings to anyone, not even to her roommate, even though she shows it in other ways by, I guess, her actions and her eyes tell a different story.
Yeah, if you're going to watch them closely, though.
You have to watch them really closely. Sometimes you could see a faint look.
But she's supposed to be letting a little bit out, and she handles it well.
Yeah, that's what I find amazing in this role, that Jenna was able to convey the fact that she's showing emotion in her eyes and her actions.
Yeah.
While I imagine she had a lot of questions to the said actors and the director and the scriptwriter about how she can convey these emotions in the series. I imagine this is what happens a lot. Anyway, so she eventually thinks she's found the culprit, or thinks she does. She thinks that it finds out that the creature itself is a Hyde, like Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah. So like, a human being, a bit like a werewolf, is another ego in the one body. Well, Hyde was something similar. Yeah.
And we find out from a book where it's sort of a diary of the founder of the Academy, who was able to write down all the types of species of creatures to watch out for. And the Hydes, which used to be one that used to be accepted at the school, were dismissed because they were too dangerous to handle.
They weren't very nice. They weren't friendly.
They weren't child-friendly, and I guess they can't control their power.
No, that's the whole problem.
Mm-hmm. Except if they had someone in their corner that controls them in return. Wouldn't you say, Mike?
Yeah, I need a keeper. How's that?
Need a keeper.
Sounds good.
See, now we know that the Hyde has an accomplice in this.
Yeah.
So we have like the Hyde, and we have the master. We have the puppet. We have the puppet master.
Puppeteer.
So we have to find. So they have to find. Wednesday has to find out who those the culprits are. So she eventually does more investigating and suspects Xavier of being the creature because he told her in confidence that he has these weird dreams of the creature. And he draws the same creature, and and in one scene we see blood trickling down his neck, where he says he conjured up the creature in his picture, because he has this ability to make the creatures come to life off paper.
Yeah, if he draws something, he could draw a spider, and a spider will come to life and walk across the table, and you smash it with your hand, and it goes back to graphite. That sort of stuff, yeah.
Yeah, so Wednesday suspecting it's his ability, and he also has dreams of the said creature, and she thinks this is probably the hide in him coming out. And eventually, she also suspects the psychiatrist lady of probably helping him find the hide.
Holding his leash.
Hopefully using hypnosis, which is probably one of the effects to bring out the hide.
Something that helped unlock it, yes.
Yeah, but we eventually find out that the psychiatrist lady gets killed or murdered in one of the scenes.
Yes.
And
funny that, eh?
Funny that. And then Xavier gets arrested when Wednesday was confronting him in his special art studio.
Exactly.
And eventually, Wednesday, when she meets Tyler later on, after they had an awesome date and stuff like that, they eventually kissed for the first time, and this is where I should mention earlier that Wednesday has this ability where she can see the future and the past.
Oh, yeah, so if she touches somebody, they can actually, she can pick up on things, their past, possible future, what's going on.
I told people about this, and some people kept saying, what visions? It's mentioned in Wikipedia, folks. Look it up. It's there for all to see. Yeah, it's no secret. I mean, it says Wednesday is at the school to try to find out the truth about what's happening with the monster, and she finds out a little bit of family history and secrets that are lurking in the walls.
A couple of skeletons rattling in the closet.
We also find out that Gomez was accused of murder, but actually it was the other way around. It turns out Morticia was the one who committed the murder.
Well, it was an accident.
It was an accident.
And they were being attacked by somebody who ended up being
who was
killed
obsessed with Morticia, and that said person was there to kill the Nevermore Academy students by poisoning the punch on a special prom night type event. But thanks to Gomez and his fighting, the poison which was in his pocket was actually kind of cut into his chest, which poisoned him.
And he became mentally deranged and stuff.
Yeah. Anyway, eventually Gomez and Morticia were left off the hook, but as I said before, the story doesn't end there. Eventually, we find out that the monster is Tyler, who all this time, and now Wednesday takes the time to confront him, but before she could get down to interrogating, her favorite thing she does in the old series and in the movies and the cartoons, the sheriff arrives and he arrests Wednesday, and there we learn that the sheriff was probably knows of his son's what he's doing, and he knows that he inherited from his late wife. And so Wednesday confronts Tyler, and Tyler admits that he enjoys the thrill of killing and thrill of being controlled by this said killer.
That's stuff.
And now Wednesday is backed into a corner because the headmistress is about to expel her ass. Yes.
Expel her.
Expel her ass. And meaning she'll be forced to leave the school, which would be her last chance of ever going to any school at all. She may have to be going back to homeschooling again. Who knows?
Well, homeschooling's okay.
Anyway, Wednesday eventually is about to leave. She packs up her belongings. She makes her say her goodbyes to her friend. And as she's heading out the door, meets her dorm mother, whatever they call them, the lady Kristen Ortega, Kristen Riccio. is playing.
Christina Ricci.
Ricci is playing.
Yeah.
And she then works out that from when she visits the bee boy, I should mention, he was in a hospital where he was being treated because he was meeting with the creature.
Yeah, but he didn't get quite killed.
Yeah, he was in a coma for the half the series. And throughout the series, Wednesday visits him, which shows another side to her
passion in there.
Yeah. She cautiously denies it, says, "Do not say this to anyone." Anyway, she learns from him that when he was exploring the woods, he was going to a cave where the said creature lurks. And there in the cave, we find out that someone destroys the cave and any evidence inside it. And the said person has red boots. And Christina Ricci's character was wearing red boots throughout the series.
Yes, he was.
And then dear old Wednesday confronts her, along with the headmistress in disguise, because she's a
shapeshifter.
Yeah, she's a shapeshifter who could shapeshift into any person she wants. And so they were able to confront her character. And her story is that her family detests the Nevermore Academy so long they wanted to destroy them. And that said brings me to the fact that with Morticia's rival, who's the son to that said family, who died in the incident, and they were using that poison to hopefully kill the students there at the academy. But that fell apart because he died, and the family was ruined because the father he committed suicide, mother died, and the daughter, whom we find out was Christina Ricci's character,
Miss Thornhill, or whatever her name is,
sent overseas where she dies overseas. But the mayor of the town discovers that this is not really true and that her death was technically misquoted.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was pretended. Yeah.
And so the mayor was murdered because to be silenced. And Wednesday discovers this, and then we find out after she murders the headmistress, she takes Wednesday to the crypt where to resurrect one of the Pilgrim founders, who was a complete bigot against witches and other people, including Wednesday's great grandmother, Goody Addams. I think her name.
The guy who started the town was a guy called Joseph Crackstone.
Yeah,
and he was intent on killing all of the outcasts.
Anyone who's strange to you, which could include the entire world, for all I know.
Yes, I'm strange. I would have been fair game. Hey,
and people from the Middle East would have been fair game. And other
you're a bit weird sometimes.
I would be probably be up for grabs eventually.
And my grandkids, they're a bit weird. They're really nice, though. But
so technically, you'll be looking at destroying all the world, including things that technically not belong to his time, which could consist of everyone.
Exactly.
Anyway, so she's the Hyde, Taylor, as a bit of to collect parts from victims. A leg here, an arm here, a different piece
bits and pieces, because it's going to form part of an awakening ritual for Mr. Crackstone.
Yeah, and Wednesday discovers from her that her blood's the key, because his crypt is secured by a blood lock.
And it wasn't her descendant, Goody Addams, the one who actually killed him?
Goody was the one who destroyed him and therefore cursed him for all terms.
And the only one to unlock the curse is a direct line, or a direct blood relative of the original person, which is Wednesday. So Christina Ricci's character grabs her arm and then drags her to the family crest and cuts her hand and puts a dribbly. Yeah, eventually the Crackstone awakens and stuff like that. And then he kills Wednesday after she pricks the locks on her chains, which I often kept wondering when I was looking at the scene. I know that Taylor was helping Christina Ricci's character,
And I think there was a bit of a something going on there.
There wasn't.
I think it does, because it's implying there, because...
She was sucking up to him like a son. His mother had died, remember?
I know.
So she's treating him with love and stuff to make him do what she wanted him to do. You're reading into it too much.
Well, there was something there I could see.
Yes, a mother, a replacement mother, so she can manipulate him.
Well, that was hard. Anyway, while he may be helping her, but he's going to be another likely candidate for the chopping block for dear old Crackstone, because he's different, and therefore he's going to be killed too.
Yeah,
he's not going to be part of their little clique.
No, it won't take him walkies or anything.
Anyway, so Wednesday is slowly dying, while Crackstone and his great-great-granddaughter is heading towards Nevermore Academy. And we soon learned from the Academy that Edith was told by Thing to go and try to warn the Nightshades, a secret society group, about the upcoming rise of Crackstone. So she goes.
What a great name.
So she goes there with her boyfriend. She's for Ajax, whatever his name is, and she tells them, and the groups begins to make plans of trying to evacuate the students from the Nevermore Academy, while Edith goes and tries to find Wednesday. And while she's going in search, she transforms into a wolf shape and starts attacking the hide. Oh, I should mention, before this happens, Goody Addams appears before Wednesday and was able to help her heal from her wound.
Did she go inside her body or something?
Yeah, she goes through her body thanks to a special necklace that Wednesday's given to her by her mother.
Yeah.
A link to her mother and herself.
Yeah.
And therefore, Goody was able to go through the necklace and throughout Wednesday's body and was able to heal
fix her up.
Of course, Goody tells her that when she does this, she'll never appear to her ever again.
Of course, Goody will be no more, has that?
Anyway, Wednesday he was healed, and she then watches Taylor being taken down by her wolf friend Edith, and eventually she quickly hurries to the academy where everyone is trying to get away, while Crackstone tries to burn the school down using his staff.
Yeah, he's a bit like Gandalf the Grey.
Yeah, it makes me think of he's a bigot against magic, and yet he's carrying a staff that says, "Oh, I got magic at my fingertips."
Yeah, I'm using magic to kill the magical creatures.
It's
funny
like, it's like the expression, fighting fire with fire, technically.
He was worse than all of them put together, wasn't he?
Oh, yes, I agree. Anyway, he's no better than them, even though he's a lot worse than them.
He's worse. Yeah, he's worse. Yeah.
Anyway, he starts trying to take down a few students, but luckily Wednesday appears with her father, with a sword in hand, and starts attempting to fight him. And while the rest of the students quickly get away. Of course, at one point the sword breaks into two, which she has to stab him in the heart, which she couldn't at one point. And as he's got the staff in his hand, he was able to try to stop her from using anything.
Yeah, and he was trying to kill her. And what happened then?
Then one of the siren girls was able to pick up the remains of the broken sword and stab him in the back of the chest.
Straight at the front.
But unfortunately, he pushed it away, and then Wednesday grabs the little chunk of sword and stab him again, double tapping him. And he slowly dies.
Yeah, I think it had to be that sword.
Yeah, it has to be that sword.
That sword, yeah.
Anyway, it
has...
I don't know why. Actually, it has to be in his chest.
Yeah, I was wondering whether that might have been had to be that sword.
He has to be stabbed through his heart.
Yeah. Didn't know we had one.
And before you ask me, Christina Ricci's character is still around, and she attempts to shoot Wednesday, but fortunately, her bee friend appears and starts sending his bees into Christina's
all
character.
All little bees start attacking her, and we don't know what actually happened to her at the end.
No, she just got stomped by Wednesday.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people keep saying she was killed, but I don't think she's killed.
We don't know because it's being open for a sequel here, so she
Or
might still be
season
around
2.
somewhere.
Anyway, Wednesday and the rest of the group walk out like heroes, and Edith approaches her and gives her a hero, and they both hug each other.
Yeah.
And throughout the series, Wednesday is not big on huggy person, but I think she's relieved that they're both safe.
But Edith saved her life too.
Yes. Soon enough, the summer holidays comes around, and Wednesday and Edith...
well, actually, it wasn't actually. I think they closed the school down early because of all the death and all the crap going on with Crackstone and stuff. And they said, we're going to have an early break.
So they do have an early summer break.
An early break, yeah.
Anyway, Wednesday and Edith are standing in their headmistress's room and sort of saying their final farewells to her, even though she's no longer with them.
Yeah.
Even though Wednesday says in a sarcastic way she was a manipulated, baddie, asshole type of woman.
She liked her.
But I think in her own way, her actions tell us that she did respect her in the end.
Yes, she did.
Because she loved the school.
They're the qualities that Wednesday admired in her.
Yeah. Anyway, Edith and Wednesday, they make their final farewell by saying they'll promise to contact each other over the school break and make plans to hopefully meet up again.
Yeah, after, yeah.
Xavier approaches Wednesday, telling her that, gives her a mobile phone, because so you guys know, Wednesday is not big on technology. She likes old-fashioned stuff.
Yeah, she's using an old-fashioned typewriter to
write her stories.
And different things. And not a computer, no PCs, no iPads, no.
Yeah, and she uses a crystal ball to contact her family like an iPhone.
And guess what? They're free. You don't have to pay for calls.
Anyway, Xavier tells her that he's put his number in there if he ever calls her, and she doesn't. I don't think she's romantically interested in him. There's a big chance that Tyler and Xavier, they both like her. Xavier, I think more than him when I think about it, because he still holds the torch for her. Because despite the fact she went to jail in one scene,
yes,
but he got out. He still helped her, even saved her a couple of times. Anyway, as she's heading out, she gets into the family car, and she sees a new text message saying that, where it shows photos of her with Tyler and her with Xavier, and
she's being stalked.
And we find out she's being stalked, and she thinks this is just a new beginning for her. And we see...
hence the sequel's coming.
Yeah, then we see an armored white van driving past, where we see Tyler, who's chained and in a straitjacket,
and getting ready to change into his
hide again. Which could imply that he may return or escape. Then we cut to the credits.
Yada. Cut fade to black. Now, this has gone rather long, so I'll touch on a couple of quickie things here.
Me too.
Blah, blah, blah.
Hey, what are you, cousin Ed?
I won't talk too much about the development because it's normal sort of stuff there. Yes, no, and they finally went on with it. Okay, now, I'll have a little bit of word about the casting side of things here. Mm-hmm. Okay, here we go. Jenna Ortega was initially... Well, she was I think she was one of the first people contacted.
I agree.
I think.
That was good.
And she was very hesitant about getting involved in this project.
Really?
Because she'd done past work in teen-orientated Disney shows and wasn't terribly happy with them.
I can't blame her.
Nothing against Disney, don't get me wrong.
I can't blame her for that.
No, but the way it's done. Yeah. And when they first had they had a Zoom meeting, and when they met her and chatted with her, they decided there was nobody else in the world who could actually do justice to this character of Wednesday Addams, so they talked into it. So that was early, and then they found Louis Guzman to play the father, Catherine Zeta-Jones, etc. And they started building the cast up from there. Now, getting down a bit further, Christina Ricci wasn't a contender for that role. There was a lady by the name of Thora Birch. She was supposed to be playing the lead mean lady, botanist lady, Thornhill, or whatever it is, and she dropped out, and Christine and Ricky took up the part.
That was nice of her.
And I think she did quite a good role. I've always liked Christina. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet Tim Burton, if he did do the Addams Family back in the 1991 one, he probably would have rocked at it when I think about it. It's just such a shame he had to wait until now to make it.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish that he could have made it years ago. Maybe he would have, but I guess other film projects got in the way.
Now,
I mean, he's a master of gothic and comedy and stuff like that. And I do think that he does know how to take it by the horns and take an interesting approach to it.
Yeah, roll it and fold it and make something new out of it. And now here we are, filming locations. You always think, oh, where they make it. Well, here we go. The filming the series began September 2001 in a southern Carpathian town of Bastini in Romania.
Ooh, cool.
So they did it over there to get the feel for it.
That was incredible.
And I believe from the read here, there's a lot of location shoots in there, so it wasn't sets except for they made up the town.
Yeah, and it's interesting that they made this Addams family a little bit more Latino, which is not too bad. I don't mind. I'm not knocking it. I think it's a really good approach that they did it this way because I thought it was believable. I mean, I like the fact. I don't have no judgment about it.
No.
I thought they were just good at.
Gomez was supposed to be Mexican anyway, something. So.
And I don't mind Catherine Zeta-Jones doing her bit for the role that she had to play.
Moving right along, there was a dance scene in the series, and was a bit like a prom. I don't know what it was.
A bit of a prom, formal, whatever.
A dance formal, and Wednesday,
she looked great in that dress.
Had to do a dance, and she did her own choreography. Ooh. So she learnt. She obviously knows dance, and she's learnt how to do dance. So she did her own choreography.
I thought it was an interesting approach.
And we talked about sword fighting and stuff. To prepare for the role, Jenna Ortega learnt to play the cello.
Yeah, I should mention she had to learn to play the cello, and this is the
I
first
was
time.
Saying that.
This is the first time I've seen her with a musical instrument. I mean, the Wednesday Addams character, because in the past we always see Lurch playing the family organ, harpsichord, but we never see any other family members with actual musical instruments.
You'd talk underwater, wouldn't you? What I was going to say is she learnt the cello in the pre-period of doing the movie. So over a few months, she learned how to play the cello. She took canoeing lessons and fencing lessons and archery lessons, as well as German lessons.
Wow.
She was a busy little girl, she was.
Yeah,
Jenna,
it does explain why the 2 year of working on this.
She worked a bum off. And along comes Danny Elfman to do some music.
I love Danny Elfman. I mean, I do like the fact that he and Tim Burton work well together.
He pops up all over the place, Danny.
Especially in Tim Burton's stuff.
He does.
I read somewhere
that
they had falling out, but I think it was over the Nightmare Before Christmas thing, where he was offered to do the voice, but I guess the role was handed over to someone else, and he just got upset about it.
Boo-hoo. Get over it. Suck it up. Yeah.
And I guess, but it doesn't. I guess they continue their collaboration on film projects, which is explains why he continues to work on some of Tim Burton's works.
Anyway, now I won't go through all the critiques. Most of the critics liked it. One person didn't because they thought it wasn't too much like the Addams Family movies and stuff. Old, but this is a different style. This is about Wednesday Addams coming of age. It's not an Addams Family movie per se. So get over it. But Rotten Tomatoes, Metacritic, they liked it, and other people liked it, and they think, hey, it's a different take on it.
Yeah.
And most of the people agree that Jenna Ortega really excelled in bringing this role to life.
Yeah.
So, for any of you who like the Addams Family and that little bit of gothic comedy sort of stuff, this is a good series.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different to the Addams Family because it's based on Wednesday at school.
Yeah, well, it's a different approach, considering...
It's a different approach, yeah. And there's room for a sequel here. Yeah, so
well, series 2, you mean? Not a sequel.
Well, I didn't...
Sequel is for movies and stuff like that.
A continuation of the story, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, having said that, if you good folk want to see this, at the moment, it's available on Netflix. You can have a look at it. Now, gut feeling tells me that very soon you'll probably find it on Amazon Prime as well. So it'll probably show up in other streaming places or whatever. Yeah. But at the moment, it's on Netflix.
Anyway, I did think this movie was pretty... TV series was pretty good. I did think it was pretty cool that they made Wednesday, play a cello. I mean, I did wonder...
It was good too.
Yeah, it's different. A different approach, considering...
I like cellos.
Yeah, I have nothing against
you haven't seen the Game of Thrones, have you?
Nope.
Well, at the beginning of that, they play a bit of a piece. I think it's on a cello, and it's really moody and atmospheric and everything. It's really good.
Yeah, anyway, I never seen Wednesday with an instrument or the other Addams Family members ever in my life. I mean, except for the... I think I remember... in the Addams Family movie, Morticia was playing a violin and
wasn't very good though.
It wasn't too bad, but other than that, it was not really. It only happened for a few seconds.
Don't give up the day job. Yeah.
Well, anyway, I think it was a good approach that Wednesday should have outside interests, not just this whole. I like to torture people for a living.
I tortured my brother. She actually looked after her little brother at school, didn't she?
Yeah, she got pissed off at the swim team for picking on him. Yeah. When actually she's supposed to be the one who has to torture him.
Yeah, that's her job. Yeah. Anyway,
let's
rate it.
Well, anyway, I also like how Tim Burton's creating the monster. He actually used sketches, his drawings, to create it.
Does he do his own sketching?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
See, that's how he created the monster in his imagination. As I said before, most of the time, these other people who make supernatural-related movies and TV shows, they just usually go by other animals or, like fairy tale monsters.
And then they talk.
And sometimes they would often use a reference from other references.
And then they talk to an artist guy to put it together and do.
Or even other movies as references.
Yeah.
Whereas Tim Burton, he uses his own imagination to create the image of the monster. Yeah. Unlike other people who just think, I'll just work on it by using other people's references.
Okay, I'm going to rate it now.
Okay, go on.
I'm going to give it 10.
I'm going to give it 10 out of 10 myself.
Yeah. The reason being is it covers everything. There's no faults in it. The storyline's good, the film work's good, the acting's good, the casting's good. It's got everything in there that should be there, and it's a nice, fun, sinister, gothic romp. How's that?
I agree. I agree.
It fills, it ticks all the right boxes. So I can't grade it down. And I know I keep going on at different times about Jenna Ortega. There's people out there who really inspire me, and I want to see, hey, I wonder what she's going to do next. And she's one of those people, and I think she's really, really good in bringing parts to life. Yeah. See, we saw her in The Babysitter. Yeah. We saw her in X, which is a horror movie sort of thing.
I thought when she did...
movie, and she's done other things as a kid.
I thought she did great in Babysitter and Killer Queen. I mean, I think that her Wednesday-type attitude was there.
She played a bit of gothic in that one too, didn't she?
Yeah, a little bit. And I think it was great when she was approached by Tim or one of the guys to work on this role. I mean, maybe it was probably one of her best roles. I mean, I think.
Well, they think she was the best one for this role. They couldn't think of anybody else better suited to play this role. So
I can't think of anyone.
She just got something about her personality, which is it just goes to show she's a damn fine actress.
Yeah, and just like just so you guys know, the reason that Lewis, who was going to play Gomez, why Tim Burton cast him in that role is because he wanted to use the similar stylings from Charles Addams' works.
And Charles Addams had a short, dumpy guy.
Gomez,
yeah, and he found a short, dumpy guy who, fitted the role quite nicely.
Exactly
Yeah.
I gotta admit, I do like Wednesday's costuming for this series more than ever because, like in the past, we always see Wednesday wearing the same black and white ensemble.
Or Quaker's outfit or something or other, or whatever it is,
we never see her anything else. I mean, it's great to see her, with a combination of outfits, like not just...
But most of it's black and white, though.
Yeah, and I like the uniform, which makes the striped uniform, which makes me think of Tim Burton, because Tim Burton is always about using stripes in his work.
But you think about it, like I said, her uniform was darker than anybody else's.
Yeah, I mean, it's strange, unless she used magic to make it darker.
Or just the personality made it darker.
I like it that she had a psychic ability, where in the other ones, they say they kind of tapped onto it, but they never really made it.
They didn't develop it.
They never developed it. Like in the cartoon movie Addams Family 2, she mentioned that she had a psychic ability, but that was only just for a few seconds of interest. But in this one, it became a key element to Wednesday's past and her future. Anyway, I do think it's an interesting approach because it's sort of develops a bit of a sort of a connection between her and the rest of her family. It says her mother had the same ability, and it guesses that she may have either passed it on her to her daughter, and it may either slowly disappear when she gets older, maybe. I like to think so, considering that Morticia doesn't seem like she doesn't have that ability anymore.
She might have.
It might mention in season 2 what's going to happen next. Like, maybe she might lose her powers, or maybe something else happens. Like, maybe that new stalker may he might be connected to Christina Ricci's character and Taylor's character, and may cause a bit of more trouble behind the scenes in the Academy or beyond the Academy in Jericho. We don't know yet, but it's really exciting, and I can't wait to find out what direction this series will take us.
Only way is up.
I'm hoping for something really exciting, maybe something connected with the hides, maybe even something that's much more deeper with some of the students. I don't know, something really exciting. I like it even more that Wednesday is also wants to be a writer, and I think that's a good approach to have her have goals.
Oh, a female Stephen King.
Well, she's not Stephen King. She's more of a
Edgar Allan Poe.
Maybe, but I think she more wants to write detective stories, even though she's more the villain than the detective in this, when you think about it.
She's a nice little villain. Yeah.
Anyway, it's an interesting approach, making out that she's the detective in the story instead of the villain trying to be caught instead, when you think about it. It's an awesome approach when I think about it. I know I'm going over it and over it, but I just like the detail work involved in this. And I like it that in the prime scene she gets to wear this awesome killer dress. And she got to dance with...
Yeah, she found this old... black lace, was it?
Black lace, Victorian-type dress.
Yeah, she found an old antique shop type place, old wares place.
Yeah.
That's if I'm going to go to a prom or a ball or something, I'm going to wear that.
Yeah.
It was right up her alley.
Yeah, thanks to...
really good.
Yeah, it's thanks to Thing, who appears throughout the series.
He stole it.
He has a 5-finger discount. And he was able to get Taylor to become her date. I think he was playing matchmaker behind the scenes.
Yeah. Yeah, Thing, he got to love, he got to think about love and stuff.
Yeah, Thing nearly gets killed in the scene.
He got stabbed straight through the palm.
Yeah, ouch.
Poor little Thing. It had to bring back to life with a bit of a defibrillator machine and stuff. Yeah, zapping him and stuff. But Uncle Fester used his fingers instead of a machine. Yeah.
That's one of the things I like about Uncle Fester in this one too, because in this one, his powers, where he has electricity, in his body, but when he lights up a light, you can see it lights up.
But they use his electrical stuff in this to help things.
It was great that they had that approach coming for the series, and I like that in Thing that he had all these stitches and
it looked like he'd been sewn together, like he was mangled body or
like
something.
Like a Frankenstein monster.
Yeah.
Which I think is interesting.
It gave him character.
It gave him character, unlike the other ones where he has just
a
a
nice,
clean skin.
hand. Yeah.
Where he's still a bit, what's the word? What's the term for a bit over. What's the word I'm thinking of?
I don't know.
The term when you are very addicted to making yourself look pretty all the time.
Oh yeah, whatever. Thingy-wingy, yeah, whatever. Who cares?
He has this. He just likes to be very pretty. I think.
Who's this?
Thing.
This thing.
Yeah, Thing is like he's like.
Oh, it's clean. Oh, in the other shows, he had clean nails and stuff and different things. Yeah, this one he was a bit more grotty.
Yeah, but in this one, he likes to take pride in his appearance. Is what I mean. He did the girl that was rooming with Wednesday remarked that Thing was a nice person to have around. She liked him, and she liked him being in her tutorials. She had him as a hand model, I guess.
Hand model. She gave him a hand. He gave her a hand with it.
Yeah, maybe helping her with how to make your nails look very fine.
Something like that. Anyway, let's kill these people and get out of bed.
Okay, let's kill us now. So, I do think this is a great series to watch, guys, and I give it my alternate 10 stars for this one.
Yeah, and don't forget, it's on Netflix, guys, and probably soon to be on Amazon, but we'll see what happens in the future.
And soon enough, we'll be arriving on DVD very shortly, if you're into that sort of thing.
Probably. It's probably recent, but normally it'll come out probably on something like Amazon Prime first as a rental. Or place such as that, and then they'll probably release it on a DVD shortly thereafter.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's about it for us tonight. I know we've gone over time, but I just can't.
We often go over
time.
But
in this one, it deserved my undivided attention, which has been over time when I think about it, because we've been so looking forward to this series for quite a long time.
Months and months, yeah.
Anyway, that's about it for us tonight, guys. Be sure to check it out. Let us know in the comments what you guys think of the series so far, and let us know which episode is your favourite.
I like all of them, and I like the end episode because when it comes together, I was trying to guess who the naughty people were, and it could be that one, and it could be that one. They're going to throw a couple of red herrings in there, so maybe that person. But the people involved in it were some of the ones I did actually pick, which was pretty good, seeing I hadn't read the story, the script, or anything else.
All right, thanks for listening to us, everyone. This is Sarah Stephenson.
And Michael.
Saying see you guys around on Boys and Ghouls Film Review. Bye for now.
Bye, guys.